Market Report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW AM, FM, and streamed online.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. In school cancellations today, Friday, January 23rd, Arcola and Bement schools will be participating in e-learning, while Argenta Oriana has closed their doors and will have no instruction today. Blue Ridge and Cerro Gordo, as well as DeLand, Weldon, and Lincoln, are also participating in e-learning today, while Clinton will have no instruction. Maroa Forsyth, Monticello, Mount Pulaski, and Warrensburg-Latham are also all participating in e-learning today due to the frigid temperatures. If you are planning on voting by mail in the upcoming spring primary, be aware of a recent change to the postage dates of those ballots. At the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting, DeWitt County Clerk Carrie Harris informed the public of a change by the Postal Service that is going to impact when postmarks and when those mail-in ballots would be sent to her office.
So I was just informed today, the last couple clerk meetings I attended, we discussed some changes in the Postal Service that may affect some mail-in ballots. So with the election coming up, the State Board of Elections did send out an important postmark change. In the past, postmarks were put on pieces of mail the day you delivered them to the mail, or to the post office, sorry. Now the change is that it's not postmarked until the day that it's processed, which could add 2 to 3 extra days on to putting a postmark on a piece of mail. And we have a 14-day waiting period for any mail-in ballot with an election. So the election's March 17th. We have to wait 14 days after that to wait for any mail-in ballots to come in, but they do have to be postmarked by the day of the election.
The clerk's office is encouraging voters not to wait to get those ballots and get them in the mail about 7 days before the election. You can also get a same-day postmark through the post office.
So what we are kind of running into is a lot of people will wait to go mail their ballot the day of the election, and now it's not going to be postmarked for that day like it has in the past. So I'm trying to get out. I've contacted the radio, the paper. I've put it on the county clerk's website, Facebook page. I've posted it in the office. I've posted it up front in the county or in the courthouse. This that the state board had sent out that basically is letting people know it's probably best to mail in your mail-in ballot at least 7 days before the election. If you can't, then the only thing you can do to guarantee the postmark to get on there is to walk up to the counter and request a same-day postmark to be put on your envelope. Because if you just take it in, or if you just take it over on the day of the election or the day before the election, drop it in the drop box, we may get it back within that 14-day time frame, but it's not going to have the postmark of the election day on it, so your ballot's not going to be counted.
February 5th is the first day for mail-in ballots to go out in DeWitt County. You will be seeing notices about this change with the reminder to get those ballots in the mail at least 7 days ahead of the election.
My first batch of ballots are going out February 5th. That's the first day to mail out ballots. Those actually come from my vendor. They do my first batch mailing, which is 99% anyone signed up for permanent vote by mail. They are not including any type of slip that tells the voters this information. I don't know why, but they did tell me today that they're not. So I'm trying to just spread the word. If you are a mail-in voter, make sure that you give yourself at least 7 days if you're going to drop it in a mailbox or in a mail slot or a drop box. if you're going to walk it in, they can postmark it that same day. That way the postmark's good and valid and can be counted when it comes to my office. The ballots that get mailed out after February 5th are going to come from my office directly. And I do have a slip that we kind of, as clerks, just typed up, letting them know to try to mail it within 7 days. If you can't, to take it to the counter, have it postmarked, and it's all due to the changes in the Postal Service. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up. So if any of you are mail-in voters, or if you know anybody who is one, just to kind of help spread the word so people aren't upset if their ballot's not counted because the postmark doesn't match the election date.
Harris also indicates there is an option to just drop ballots off in the clerk's office ahead of the election. The primary election is Tuesday, March 17th. A stretch of bitterly cold weather is coming in with the threat of snow to join the mix. On the WHOW Morning Show Thursday, DeWitt County CENCOM coordinator Karen Clevenger told the Hart Media Group the cold tends to bring calls to the dispatch center regarding residents concerned about their neighbors.
Well, one thing is that to watch out for your neighbors, I would say. We get a lot of calls about the water main breaks, the pipes freeze, and then, oh my goodness, there's chaos there. But another thing that we get a lot of and that I want people to be aware of is checking out for your neighbors. They might not want to go out in this bitter cold, right? And so they might not want to get that food or what have you. But is that really a great way to live, to be stuck inside and with no food? So,
sure.
To check on them. And then if you have a concern that, you're knocking on the door and no one's answering, or you're trying to reach your neighbor, give us a call. We'll send an officer out to check and make sure that everybody's okay. But, like if it snows and then you notice, man, there's no snow prints outside, or they haven't picked up their paper or their mail or something like that, that would be a good sign to check on them.
Clevenger reminds whether it is snow that is possibly coming this weekend or any future events, particularly those that fall during the work week, not to inquire with dispatch about the conditions of the roads.
So we get a lot of calls from people that, they do ask about, well, how's the weather and, how, should I go out? We can't really give that advice because that would be really bad. If we said, oh, sure, it's fine, go outside. And then something terrible happens. We don't give advice like that. But you can absolutely call us if you're concerned about someone that you can't get a hold of them, or you can't reach them, that type of thing, or you're concerned about their welfare, that type of thing. And then also, always just being, if you have a neighbor that you kind of watch over each other's houses or things, and then you see, oh my goodness, there's water pouring out the front door. Give us a call. We're going to send somebody out.
In the event of weather that would lead to travel conditions being impacted, visit gettingaroundillinois.com for the latest in road conditions near you. Once again, that URL is gettingaroundillinois.com. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all, it's all free all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Health isn't just something you think about when you're sick. At the SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln, our doctors care for you through every stage of life. Annual checkups help you stay ahead of problems, keep your family healthy, and build a relationship with a doctor who knows you. Make preventative care part of your routine. Book your annual appointment online today by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. SIU Medicine in Lincoln. Forward for you.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
Hello, I'm Dr. Seuster with Covenant Animal Clinic. We're thrilled to sponsor the Adopt a Pet page on DeWittDailyNews.com. Simply look for the icon beside the masthead and you'll discover all the lovable cats and dogs at DeWitt County Animal Shelter, hoping to find their perfect family. While you're there, you can even complete an adoption application right online. Please help us share the message about these wonderful animals who are ready for a loving home. After all, a happy pet is a healthy pet.
The WHOW Morning Show is now video streamed live on the WHOW WEZC DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page and on the new WHOW TV YouTube channel. Watch Morning Show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing 2 more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. 3 Clinton Lady Maroons scored at least 17 points as they beat the Warrensburg-Latham Lady Cardinals by a final score of 67-33 in Central Illinois Conference high school girls basketball action on Thursday night in Warrensburg. The Lady Maroons established themselves early, posting a 22-11 lead after the first quarter. They continued the push, making the score 43-21 at halftime. The Lady Cardinals only managed 2 points in the fourth quarter. Clara Dempsey and Carly Anderson led all scorers with 18 points apiece for Clinton. Half of Anderson's points came from distance. Avery Smith added 17 points, while Lila Kluver had 10. Warrensburg-Latham was led by Abby Andricks, who scored 14 points. Lily Jones had 10. With the win, Clinton improves to 19-4 and 4-0 in the CIC and builds its win streak to 15 in a row. Warrensburg-Latham falls to 9-15 and 2-2 in the Central Illinois Conference. The girls will travel to Macon to play in the CIC tournament on Saturday as they take on the Shelbyville Lady Rams. Tip-off is at 3 p.m. The Monticello Lady Sages made a comeback effort that ultimately fell short as they were defeated by the St. Joseph Ogden Lady Spartans by a final score of 54-47 in Illini Prairie Conference high school girls basketball action on Thursday night in St. Joseph. St. Joe dominated the first half, leading 29-16 going into the break. The Lady Sages pushed back in the third, making the score 38-33. But the Lady Spartans turned the heat back up to seal the win in the fourth. Allie Widener led Monticello with 17 points. Sarah Cressip and Emma Arnold each scored 8 points. With the loss, Monticello falls to 12-11 and 1-4 in the Illini Prairie. St. Joseph Ogden improves to 14-6 and 4-1 in conference play. The Lady Sages will play host to the Taylorville Lady Tornadoes on Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Tune into the next Monticello Sages sports broadcast when the boys host the Warrensburg-Latham Cardinals. Tip-off is Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Hear all the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Zion Fruster had 25 points in Eastern Illinois' 59-51 overtime win over Southern Indiana on Thursday night. Fruster made a game-tying basket with 17 seconds left in regulation to make it 50-all. Then he scored all 9 Panthers points in overtime. Fruster added 7 rebounds for the Panthers, who improved to 9-11 and 5-4 in the Ohio Valley Conference. Michi White added 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 steals. Amari Brown led the way for the Screaming Eagles with 17 points. They fall to 4-15 and 1-8 in the Ohio Valley Conference. Ismail Habib added 12 points, and Tolu Samuels also had 7 points and 11 rebounds. Kobe White scored 22 points. Josh Giddey added 21 off the bench, and Jalen Smith converted 2 clutch free throws late to lift the Chicago Bulls to a 120-115 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves on Thursday night. Chicago overcame a 14-point first-half deficit and also withstood a 13-0 run from Minnesota in the fourth quarter, White hit a clutch three-pointer from the corner to keep it a 1-point game with 1 minute and 6 seconds to play. After White's corner three-pointer, Minnesota committed a pair of costly turnovers in the final minute. Jaden McDaniels lost the ball out of bounds for Minnesota, and Chicago's Trey Jones made a layup at the other end with 31.1 seconds to play. Smith then converted at the line with 11 seconds remaining, and Minnesota failed to hit a shot on its next possession. Julius Randle, who was on the injury report with left foot soreness, had a team-high 30 points for Minnesota, but also committed a late turnover. Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid each added 20 points, and McDaniels scored 16 in the loss. After White was whistled for a travel with 2 minutes and 8 seconds to play, both teams traded baskets in the ensuing possessions. Edwards hit a shot in the lane, and Smith responded with a dunk. McDaniels then converted a corner three-pointer to put Minnesota up 115 to 111, but that ended up being the last points scored by the Timberwolves. Chicago went on a 9-0 run in the final minute and 6 seconds. The loss was a season-high fourth in a row for Minnesota. Chicago has won 3 straight. Fouls were an issue for Minnesota. Edwards got into early foul trouble and finished with 5 fouls. The Bulls shot 33 free throws, hitting 27 compared to 15 attempts at the line for the Wolves. The Bulls host Boston on Saturday, while the Timberwolves host Golden State on Saturday. Oliver Moore scored in the shootout on his 21st birthday, and Spencer Knight stopped 5 of 6 shots by Carolina to give the Chicago Blackhawks a 4-3 shootout win over the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday night. Connor Murphy, Ilya Mikheyev, and Nick Lardis scored in regulation for the Blackhawks. Knight, who shut out Winnipeg on Monday night, made 28 saves in regulation and overtime for his second straight win. Joel Nystrom, Jordan Stahl, and Jackson Blake scored for the Hurricanes, whose 5-game home winning streak ended. Frederick Anderson stopped 18 shots and 4 more in the shootout. The win capped an eventful night for Moore, who celebrated a milestone birthday. He was on the wrong side of a fight with Alexander Nikishin in the second period and then nearly won the game in overtime, but was robbed by Anderson. Chicago led 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2, but couldn't put the Hurricanes away in regulation. Carolina has yet to lose in regulation with top defenseman Jacob Slavin in the lineup. Murphy and Blake traded goals 82 seconds apart near in the back half of the third period to send it to overtime. Anderson came up with a pair of saves on Moore and Frank Nazar in the third period to keep the game tied at 2. He made 2 bigger saves on Wyatt Kaiser and Moore in overtime. The Hurricanes tied it at 2 on Stahl's first goal since December 19th at 9 minutes and 16 seconds of the second period. Chicago had taken a 2-1 advantage after Lardis' goal at 4 minutes and 35 seconds in the second. Mikheyev swatted his own rebound at 11 minutes and 12 seconds in the first to give the Blackhawks a 1-0 lead. It was Mikheyev's first shorthanded goal of the season. Nystrom tied it with his first NHL goal at 12 minutes and 50 seconds in the first. The rookie defenseman has 9 points in 36 games. The Blackhawks host Tampa on Friday night. The Hurricanes travel to Ottawa on Saturday night. Checking out scores from around the NBA last night, the Charlotte Hornets took down the Orlando Magic 124-97, while the Denver Nuggets beat the Washington Wizards 107-97. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Houston Rockets 128-122, while the Golden State Warriors fell to the Dallas Mavericks 123-115. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Utah Jazz 126-109, and the LA Clippers took down the LA Lakers 112-104. The Portland Trail Blazers beat the Miami Heat 127-110. In the NHL last night, the Buffalo Sabres beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-2. The Columbus Blue Jackets shut out the Dallas Stars 1-0. The Boston Bruins beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights 4-3. And the Florida Panthers beat the Winnipeg Jets 2-1 in a shootout win. The Nashville Predators beat the Ottawa Senators 5-3, and the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Edmonton Oilers 6-2. In overtime, the Minnesota Wild beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-3. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platform, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet Service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4-lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935